Well known today as a yoga and fitness guru and a literal lifesaver, Diamond Dallas Page's career in wrestling was far from standard. DDP got into the game at a later age, yet still managed to become a standout star in WCW during the days of the Monday Night War. During Page's WCW career, he captivated audiences and became a 3-time world champion, while having great matches with the likes of Randy Savage, Raven and Bill Goldberg. So in this video, we will look at the story of Diamond Dallas Page in WCW. DDP's parents divorced while he was still young, and it would be his father who raised the young Page Falkenberg. When he was 8 years old, his grandmother took over his care duties. Page has since revealed that his childhood wasn't easy, as he struggled in school and with childhood in general due to the fact that he is dyslexic. Page excelled in basketball in school, becoming a star player in whatever school he would get transferred to. He didn't enjoy basketball at all though, his love was football, but when he was younger he was hit by a car that seriously damaged his right knee, which in turn left him unable to play football. Page had tried wrestling when he was 22 years old, but the aforementioned knee injury seriously hindered him, and in his third match he hurt his knee so badly that it was decided that he should just stay out of the ring. While running a nightclub in Florida, Dallas sent a tape of himself to the American Wrestling Association. Paul Heyman had just left the AWA along with the Midnight Express, so there was a role needing to be filled. The AWA signed him based on his infectious personality and charisma, and he would be brought into the company as a manager and a mouthpiece. So in 1988, Diamond Dallas Page made his debut as a manager for the Bad Company tag team, consisting of Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond, while being accompanied by the Diamond Dolls Tori, Jennifer and Tonya. He would also lead the Diamond Exchange stable that included future WWF stars Medusa and Kurt Hennig. Through gaining contacts in his new job, he managed to get friendly with Michael Hayes and Dusty Rhodes. The latter would be instrumental in helping DDP gain international fame. Before making it to WCW, however, DDP had his first pro match in 1989 in Florida's Professional Wrestling Federation, feeling that his knee could hold up. The match is on YouTube, and to be fair, he didn't do a whole lot during the match. During this time also though, he was a commentator for the PWF, working alongside the legendary Gordon Solie. The following year, DDP had a tryout for the WWF as an announcer, but he didn't get offered the job. He would, however, drive Honky Tonk Man and Greg Valentine to the ring in his own pink Cadillac at WrestleMania 6. This has become one of those famous before they were superstars clips that you see quite a lot. As luck would have it, Dusty Rhodes took over the booking duties in WCW around this time, and Dusty would call his friend Dallas Page in early 91 and offer him a contract to begin work in WCW. DDP came into WCW and began managing the Fabulous Freebirds. The Diamond Dolls were brought in also, along with Big Scott Hall, who was renamed as the Diamond Stud. Collectively, the group would be known as the Diamond Mine. It wouldn't be long though before DDP noticed his days as a manager could be limited in WCW, so he decided to listen to the advice given to him from Magnum TA and begin training to become a pro wrestler at the WCW power plant. Page said of his time at the power plant, "They tried to run me off and beat me up. Anybody who tries to get in this business, the first thing they do is try to run you off. If you stick to your initiation, that means that at least you've got some balls and you have some kind of work ethic. They realised I wasn't going anywhere, and I started getting mad props at the power plant." Page would get into the ring and tag up with the Diamond Stud before the end of the year. It wasn't long though before Page began jobbing, even losing in his pay-per-view debut at Starrcade in 1991. Scotty Flamingo and Vinny Vegas were soon brought into the Diamond Mine, and after Flamingo and Diamond Stud left WCW, DDP and Vinny Vegas created the Vegas Connection tag team. Unfortunately, DDP suffered his first in-ring injury, a torn rotator cuff that put him on the sidelines. Vinny Vegas left WCW to become Diesel in the WWF. Bill Watts had taken over the day-to-day running of WCW and he fired DDP while he was out injured. DDP has since said though that he walked out of the company before Watts had the opportunity to fire him. Dallas took himself to the independent scene and met Jake Roberts. DDP credits Jake for learning him about ring psychology and improving his overall working abilities. Determined to make it in pro wrestling, DDP returned to WCW in 1994, bringing his wife Kimberly along with him. It wasn't long before DDP would capture his first title in WCW as he defeated Ultimate Warrior clone Renegade for the TV title at Fall Brawl in 1995. After this, he feuded with Johnny B. Bad and the Booty Man, better known as Brutus Beefcake. The Booty Man actually defeated Page at Uncensored in 96 in a Loser Leaves Town match. Like most retirement or Loser Leaves Town matches, the stipulation means very little. Page came back just a few months later in May of 1996. This would be the beginning of the run that made DDP a superstar in WCW. Page won the hilariously named Lord of the Ring tournament at Slamboree and, as per rules of the tournament, earned himself a world title shot against the Giant. WCW being WCW though, he never did get his title shot. Soon, the NWO was formed, featuring Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, two men who Page had previously worked alongside during his previous stint in WCW. Nash and Hall began helping Page to win matches, and the Outsiders would eventually ask DDP to join them in the NWO. He would reject the offer of the NWO by hitting the diamond cutter on Scott Hall, and thus solidifying himself as a main babyface in WCW. This was the right move for Page, as the reaction he got for turning down the NWO offer was huge. Page would now be booked into a feud with the NWO, which, in turn, led to one of his greatest ever matches against Macho Man Randy Savage at Spring Stampede. This was also DDP's first ever main event match, made even better for Page as he was booked to win. If there's only one DDP match you go and watch after viewing this video, I recommend checking this one out. DDP has since stated that it was Randy Savage who suggested that DDP wins the match, doing Page a huge favour in helping to elevate him further up the card. Diamond Dallas Page would continue feuding with Randy Savage, leading to matches at the Great American Bash and Halloween Havoc. Savage won these matches, but Page greatly benefited from now being featured in a main spot on the card, made even better because WCW as a whole had more eyes on their product in comparison to what the WWF was offering at the time. At Starrcade in 1997, Page won the US title after defeating his old Diamond Exchange stablemate Curt Hennig. He would then go on to defend the title at Uncensored 98 in an incredible triple threat match that also featured Chris Benoit and Raven. This was another great WCW DDP match that you should definitely check out. After dropping the title to Raven at Spring Stampede in 98, DDP was featured in a huge celebrity match when he tagged with Karl Malone to face Hulk Hogan and Dennis Rodman at Bash at the Beach in 98. Just 1 month later, Page tagged with talk show host Jay Leno and defeated the team of Hogan and Eric Bischoff at Road Wild. Now, there is an obvious opinion to be had here with Diamond Dallas Page and these celebrity kind of matches, but you have to remember, DDP was trusted in these matches to make sure nothing went too wrong, and he did a good job. Continuing on with his success though, DDP won the War Games match at Fall Brawl in 98, which secured him a title shot against Bill Goldberg at Halloween Havoc. I've spoken about this match already in the Bill Goldberg WCW video uploaded last week, but to recap, some pay-per-view companies didn't air the match due to the abysmal Hogan vs Warrior match making the whole pay-per-view run into overtime. WCW decided to air the Goldberg vs DDP title bout in its entirety on the October 26th episode of Nitro, which proved immensely popular in the ratings and resulted in a ratings win for Nitro over Raw. This would be the last win Nitro ever had in the Monday Night War. DDP lost the match, but on the same Nitro that aired the Halloween Havoc main event, DDP defeated Bret Hart for the US title. He would, however, end up dropping the title to Bret the following month. Spring Stampede in '99 was the culmination of all DDP's hard work and determination. On that night, he stepped inside the ring with legendary stars Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair and Sting in a four corners match for the WCW title. Randy Savage also was the special referee. In the last well-received pay-per-view that WCW ever produced, Diamond Dallas Page won the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. DDP said of the match, "Those four guys, they were all mega icons, and after that match, it was just me and Hogan when I walked backstage. He looks up at me and goes, 'That you, of all people, who people thought was a joker and you worked so hard, that you would become a world champion is the way this business should be. That's what it's all about.'" DDP's title reign wouldn't last long though. He turned heel, dropped and regained the title in one episode of Nitro on April 26, 99, and went on to lose the title to Kevin Nash at Slamboree 99. Dallas would leave the world title picture and go on to form the Jersey Triad team with Bam Bam Bigelow and Chris Kanyon. The team won the tag titles twice while utilising the Freebird rule, having good matches with the likes of Harlem Heat and the Revolution. The team would break up though and feud among each other before '99 ended. WCW was at the mercy of Vince Russo's booking decisions in 2000, but Page still managed to become a main player once again. He and Jeff Jarrett wrestled for the vacant world title, a match that DDP lost when Kimberly turned on him and joined Jeff Jarrett and the New Blood. DDP would win his third and final WCW world title though on the April 24th episode of Nitro when he defeated Jeff Jarrett in a steel cage match. The celebrations didn't last long as the Russo booking reared its head in one of the most questionable decisions ever made in WCW history. So what happened was, 3 days after Page won the belt on WCW Thunder, a match was booked featuring champion DDP tagging with David Arquette to take on Jeff Jarrett and Eric Bischoff. This match was for the world title, and Arquette pinned Eric Bischoff for the win. This meant the title was transferred from DDP to his tag partner David Arquette. To this day, fans still discuss the decision to put the belt on Arquette. Imagine how it must have felt though for Dallas Page. Page was unable to win the title back in subsequent matches, including the triple cage match at Slamboree 2000. DDP disappeared for a while but returned in late 2000, forming a tag team with Kevin Nash known as the Insiders. The team won the tag titles twice, mainly feuding with Sean Stasiak and Chuck Palumbo. The team broke up in early 2001 and DDP would once again find himself in the world title picture. In his final match for WCW at the Greed pay-per-view, Page was totally destroyed by Scott Steiner. WCW was then purchased by Vince McMahon and DDP was one of the few bigger stars who accepted a buyout of their AOL Time Warner contracts. We will look at DDP in the WWF in a future video though. When it's all said and done, Diamond Dallas Page was a success in WCW. While his relationships with the likes of Dusty Rhodes, the Outsiders and Eric Bischoff were certainly contributing factors in his success, he wouldn't have gotten anywhere either without fans getting on his side. Dallas is also the perfect example of someone who achieved his goals even at a later age when he captured his first WCW world title at the age of 43 years old. That is pretty impressive.